Joining us now is Sheitan Atigarin with stories trending around the world. Hello, Sheitan.
Hello, Doctor. Good morning. Good morning, Vimbai. Good morning, Rufai. It's so lovely to see you. And I'm so excited because our very first story today is making my stomach very sweet. For our viewers who've been wondering where our lovely, lovely colleague from the morning show, Mairo-Ese, has been, wonder no more. Ayo has been away on a beautiful journey to motherhood, and now she's glowing brighter than ever in her stunning maternity photos. I am so honored to share this radiant moment as we celebrate this special season with her. Congratulations, Ayo. We miss you and we love you so much, team.
We keep making babies in our lives. Yes. I think almost on a yearly basis now. Both the men and the women, they are so fertile, and in the future, when we're doing the reunion, maybe when I'm already 80 years old, I would like to point out all these arise babies.
I was there when you were born.
Mairo-Ese, I just added to the list. And Mr. Mairo-Ese, congratulations to you and your wife.
Yes.
Well, don't forget the jollof and the pepper soup. We will celebrate with you.
I mean, I couldn't be happier in this moment because I know she'll share her story, but they have quite a testimony and a journey to share. And I know it'll encourage many people and inspire many people as well. But can we just talk about how she was still coming to work every day?
Yes,
effortlessly, flawlessly, executing. I've also been pregnant on the job, so I know it's tough to come and sit in this chair with all the aches and pains and your body is getting bigger and all sorts. But she did it so gracefully. So I know most people don't even know, they couldn't even tell that, she was going through the journey. So congratulations to her. And again, just so proud of her for carrying this journey in such an elegant way, such an effortless way. Slay mama.
Only in the way that I can.
What I say to you and Mr. Ekpenyong, you are long overdue for the next round.
Oh my God.
You want more babies?
Before we take our training story.
I have
the Lord says, go ye and multiply.
Multiply.
I mean, I have a lot of joy in my heart. And like Vimbai said, there's always a story, and we thank God that this story came out well.
Yes.
And the truth has to be said. In life and in all of our endeavors, there is always a reason to thank God. And Ayo's testament is indeed that of joy. And as her name implies, and like Oji would like to call her Ayomide, Ayotide.
Yes, so I love it.
And we will constantly celebrate. I'd spoken to her, while this journey was on. I can't wait, to get the babies in my hands. I like to carry. And
Rufai is good at that.
I just want to love on them and run around with them.
We can't wait to have you back, Ayo. We really do miss you. But let's move on now and take another story, this time coming from Borno State. In a bold and emotional move to save one of the state's most vulnerable towns from falling into the hands of terrorists, Governor Babagana Zulum spent a night in Marte, a border community near Lake Chad. Now, before Zulum's arrival, the village was completely deserted following a Boko Haram attack last Friday, with thousands taking refuge in Dikwa town. Let's take a look. In the same breath, speaking to journalists on Sunday, Governor Zulum emphasized that his visit was to foster community cooperation, resilience, and continuous support to the security agencies, stating that Marte was resettled about 4 years ago, but unfortunately, over the last 3 days, it was ransacked and displaced again. Let's take a look, come back and discuss.
20,000 people have left Marte to Dikwa. This is very obnoxious to the government, to the federal government, as well as the state government. Because this huge number of people is a threat on itself. But Alhamdulillah, we came back home. And then yesterday we spent a night here, you have seen, with the support of the Nigerian army, with the support of our gallant civilian jet hunters and vigilante. We are back here in Marte, and then the communities are now resettled for the second time now. So far so good. You have seen we have strengthened the resilience of the community. We have increased the numbers of civilian jet hunters and vigilante in order to complement the efforts of the Nigerian army. The Nigerian army has also increased the workforce that are residing in this town, and we have taken many measures that need not to be explained here because it's a security matter.
Definitely, just looking at this, I definitely applaud the move by, Governor Zulum, and just the fact that he's been appealing to the federal government to deploy decisive strategies that would ensure that the Marte town doesn't fall, to the Boko Haram group, and going there himself to actually lead the logistics and, find a better way to make sure that this insurgency comes to an end. I'd like to get your thoughts. Rufai.
I mean, Governor Zulum, I must have to confess, is such what I call a champion leader. And he's a champion of his people, constantly doing a lot of work to be able to, stabilize that area. But I think everybody should listen to him. And Dr. But your article was very apt today. Because you see, isn't it shocking that we don't even talk about Lakurawa any longer? We are back to the days of Boko Haram full on. And areas that were taken back, people were resettled there 3-4 years ago. Now we are going back to those bad days. I'm happy he has deployed some level of logistical reinforcement with the civilian JTF, which I was also have to give kudos here because they're doing a good job. And the military that is there, but we need a lot more reinforcement. Also, air reinforcement, a lot of reconnaissance going out there, and probably a capacity building measure to be able to take the fight to the insurgents through very, decisive covert intelligence. Yeah. That's what is needed at that point in time. And keeping vigil, and also get the people to be vigilant, and get the people on your side, because the people also will be able to give you that intelligence because they know those that are coming in and out. Most importantly, you wrote about forest, gas today, which is also a very welcome development, because the problem has always been we have large swaths of land. That Borno you are seeing is more than some European nations. We've got large swaths of land. How can we try as much as possible to be able to get effective policing of those swaths of land? That's where the forest guard you were talking about today comes in. And how can we ramp up that deployment and say, okay, how can we put boots on the ground to be able to create these buffers? Yeah. Most importantly, you now need another layer that I call economic empowerment. You cannot devolve all of this. The quick recruitment of fighters by Boko Haram can also be linked to the poverty in that area.
Yeah.
So how can you bring back all of this, fighting against the poverty in that area? Economic empowerment is key at this point in time. Also, you need to now start the propaganda machine. The federal government, and we are also ready to report the great stories of what is being done by the federal government, but also the local communities there. You need to recruit people that are very influential in those communities to be able to tell them that this is not the time to run, this is the time to stay. This is the time to come together. And anybody that tries to propagate the activities of those bastards, I can use that word, insurgents, because these people are ruining the fortunes of Nigeria, against our people, they should be taken head on, because these people are bastards. And I will use the word, God punish them, shame on them. I feel very passionate this morning, because this is livelihoods being destroyed. And we need to be hard on these people once and for all. Boko Haram insurgency should not have a place in our community and in our country in general. And this is the time to be hard on them. So it's time to turn on the propaganda machine, get the kids back to school, because you also need a lot of education, get empowerment on, provide hospitals, provide, amenities of government in there.
Necessary infrastructure. Very passionate words there from Rufai, understandably so. Vimbai, what are your thoughts?
Oh, because it's heartbreaking. This is something that we had gone a very long way in overcoming. And here we find ourselves again. But because we have been able to make progress in the past, it means we can do it again. Yes. So there's hope there. It's not a helpless situation. And that's what I love about this governor, is that many governors would sit at home and cry foul. And earlier I said they would grant press conferences from Government House, from the comfort of, of wherever their fortified settings are. But this this, I think I'll use the word uncommon. I know uncommon is normally used for somebody else, but this uncommon governor is going to the grassroots. He's going to the eye of the storm. Now, my question is, imagine how much more Nigeria would prosper if all of the governors could face not just insecurity, all of the various crises that we're seeing in various parts of the country. If all the governors could spend more time with the grassroots, analyzing the situation. And not just this, I also like that he's faith in action, because he also declared a day of fasting. I like that it's not just we're going to fast. We fasted, but we're also going there and we're going to see what we can do on the ground. And this is really where faith, the rightful place for us to position our faith. It's not that, okay, we are doing prayer meeting. No. I love that. But the one thing that I do question is that recently in an interview, he did divulge that 300,000 Boko Haram fighters have been reintegrated into society. Now, this has happened over a period of 3 years. So we now have to ask ourselves, this policy or this strategy of trying to rehabilitate ex-terrorists, is it working, and what are the consequences when you put the timeline together with the resurgence of what we're seeing now? And 300,000 is a huge number. That came from him. I don't know whether it's confirmed or verified, but that was the number that he used. Yes. So we do need to revisit this policy of rehabilitating terrorists or ex-terrorists, whatever they may be.
All right, then, Doctor.
Okay, Borno State has 27 local governments. Out of these 27 local governments, the only local government that has not been overrun before now was Marte local government area. And now Marte local government area has also been overrun by bandits, insurgents, terrorists, such that 300 towns and villages in that local government alone have been overrun. 20,000 people, the only community that is still standing, Marte, 20,000 people had to flee to Dikwa. And now Governor Zulum has gone there. Now, all of that narrative, it reminds us, one, of the fact that the battle against insurgency has not been won. Two, that there is a surge in insurgency, and it is not just in Borno State or the whole of the Northeast, it's also across the north and other parts of the northern part of the country and other parts of the country. Number three is that the governor has stepped up to say, okay, let me go there and give the people of Marte confidence so that they can be resettled. Now, does this say something about state police? People have been arguing for state police, that these state governors, they should be, if we have the likes of Zulum, they should be chief security officers in the regions, even if the Nigerian constitution does not identify them as chief security officers. Number four, you refer to prayer and fasting. That Governor Zulum, yesterday indeed, declared that the people of Borno State should pray and fast. Well, I have a different opinion about that. Look, when Nigerian leaders can't solve problems, they try to use religion as cover-up. They carry all the problems. They say it's God that will solve it. Now, we blackmail God too much in this country because it's not God that is causing this problem. It is the failure of leadership. It is a failure of all these, their kinetic, non-kinetic, security, architecture, what other phrases, funny phrases do they use? So this should be a wake-up call. And that's why Governor Zulum is calling on the federal government to collaborate with him, that he is ready. He needs the help of the federal government. When he made a similar appeal in April, middle of April, he was told that he was exaggerating the situation. Now this is clear confirmation that the battle against insurgency still remains to be won, and that the Boko Haram has not been technically, defeated or decimated, or whatever phrase that they use. And I hope that the federal government will take, what Governor Zulum has done in good faith, drawing attention to the emergency in the Northeast, and not just in the Northeast. I guess from Borno to Yobe, to all the other states in that axis, help is required. And the people of Marte and the people of Northeast, they deserve to enjoy the privilege of Section 14 sub 2 of the 1999 Constitution, which says the primary duty of government is to ensure the welfare and security of the people
and property of people. All right, then, very well said. Let's take another story. Fidelity Bank has clarified its position on a Supreme Court judgment following reports suggesting the bank could be facing bankruptcy after it was ordered to pay 225 billion naira in damages to a Nigerian firm. The case involves a 32 billion naira dispute linked to Woobs Resources Limited. The federal government had filed an 8-count charge against Fidelity Bank, its CEO, Dr. Nneka Onyealipe, and others, alleging conspiracy, fraud, and money laundering dating back to 2011. In response, Fidelity Bank has released a statement on X, distancing itself from reports suggesting bankruptcy. It explained that the case stemmed from a 2002 legacy transaction involving the defunct FSB International Bank and G Kappa PLC. The bank assured stakeholders it remains financially strong, profitable, and fully capable of meeting its obligations, calling the claims malicious and misleading. Fidelity says it's seeking clarification on the judgment to understand the financial implications properly. Also, in the same breath, yesterday, the Central Bank of Nigeria reassured the public, depositors, and stakeholders that the Nigerian banking sector remains resilient, safe, and sound. Well, I think that's self-explanatory, but let's get your thoughts very quickly.
The truth is, see, banking is not a thing people will play with. And since yesterday, I've been putting out a strong message. We cannot afford to have a run on a very strong bank like Fidelity. The record speak for itself. What's on about the case? It was a liability inherited from FSB Bank then. There was a transaction. The people involved had not paid. Then the property they had put down was sold to be able to recoup the money. So they went to court. Access was not granted. Rent was collected over a time. They prorated. There's also a part of that says that even in the judgment, there's a provision that if you have a transaction that is a forex-based transaction, it is the forex rate as at that point in time that should be used. As at that 2011. It's not a current forex rate of 1,600 that should be used. And even in a worst case scenario, which the bank is still even looking at the case, with the court and everything, even in a worst case scenario, the bank has the capacity. Let's not have a run on our banks. And that's why I'm very happy that the CBN has issued a statement. Nigeria cannot afford a bank failure with the economic degradation that we have today in the country. So please, let's play safe. And people should be very careful when they are reporting story to be able to report all sides of the story effectively. These things have consequences, and let's be careful.
All right, then. Well, if you can comment very quickly, Dr. Abati, because of time.
No, it cannot be quick, because it's a legal matter.
I know.
And I would like to highlight, the various parts. What are the facts of the case? In the case of FSB International granted loan to G Kappa. G Kappa defaulted on the loan. When G Kappa defaulted on the loan, FSB International took the step of selling the asset, the collateral, to a company called Sagecom. Now, G Kappa went to court to get an injunction to restrain FSB International from selling the property, the assets of G Kappa. Now, when a problem arose, Sagecom then went to court, to the Lagos High Court, and sued both G Kappa and FSB. This was before 2005. In 2005, Fidelity Bank acquired FSB International. And when you acquire a bank or an entity, you acquire it with its assets and liabilities. So the matter became that of the Fidelity Bank. Now, they've been in court since 2018. The Lagos High Court found in favor of Sagecom. G Kappa and the bank now sued. G Kappa sued. In any case, the matter went all the way to the Supreme Court. In 2025, Supreme Court ruled in favor of Sagecom. Now, Sagecom now wanted to make its claims. However, the Supreme Court did not spell out the details of the claim. So the matter went back to the Lagos High Court. The Lagos High Court now recommended mediation, right? Out of court settlement. And also said, after that mediation, the parties involved should return to court on June 23. Apart from that, status quo should be maintained by all parties concerned, and nobody should say anything to the media to allow for peaceful determination of the matter. Those are the facts of the case. Now, what has happened? A story now came out saying Fidelity Bank is in crisis. Now, this is where the intervention of the central bank is important. The central bank has now come out to say no bank is in distress, because if a bank like Fidelity Bank, that is one of 6 banks that has recapitalized up to over 1 trillion, if you say it is in distress, it's in crisis, that could cause a run on the banking system. It could cause instability within the banking system. Depositors will panic. Shareholders will panic. And that's why the central bank has stepped in to say there is no crisis with any bank. The banking system in Nigeria is safe, resilient, and reliable. And I think that is important. The second part is that the people who jumped the gun and were reporting 225 billion, Fidelity Bank has said, even when there is settlement, whatever amount is involved cannot be more than 14 billion. And that Fidelity Bank can even pay that amount. And in any case, judgment debts, they don't have to be paid at once. For a bank that is worth over 1 trillion in terms of capitalization, they are in a very comfortable position. So what you see here is about demarketing, and which is not good. It's also about this thing they call a cyber crime act. People go on social media and then you just go and discredit a big bank to pull it down. I think also, the media too should be very careful in how we report. Contempt may be involved and all of that. So these are the issues, and it's good that the central bank has waded in, and Fidelity Bank has also
put out a statement.
And the court, whatever the court says, whether right or wrong, it's an order that must be obeyed.
It's final. All right, then, thank you so much. Let's take another story. Social critic Iguma Scott has once again aimed at Lagos, unfavorably comparing the city to New York and saying it smells. In a recent Instagram post, Scott responded to Lagos Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, who had defended the city on X last week, urging critics to be more constructive, especially those who have benefited from Lagos. In reply, Scott shared a video showing the dirty state of the underbridge in Ajah, claiming that the area stinks. So before we take that video, and another reaction to Lagos flooding and road conditions, a concerned citizen has raised alarm over the state of a road in Lekki Phase 1. This follows the heavy downpour over the weekend as commuters were seen struggling to wade through the streets. Now let's take those 2 videos back to back, come back and discuss.
New York of Nigeria. Take a look at the New York. This is the New York we have here. Just take a look at it. This is Ajah, the popular Ajah. Take a look at the mess. This is the 5th Avenue, Ajah, New York. Just take a look at it. This is what we have in our New York. Take a look at your New York. So to the Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Tokunbo Wahab, Lagos is not smelling, but the shit on this road is smelling. And to His Excellency, Governor Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State, Lagos has been very dirty under your watch, sir. During the tenure of Governor Ambode and Governor Fashola, Lagos was neat. There was a maintenance structure in Lagos. But during your government, Governor Sanwo-Olu, Lagos has been so dirty. We are not trying to defame Lagos. Lagos is smelling, and that is not to defame Lagos. But we need to clean it up. The roads are bad. There are floods everywhere. And it's your duty to clean it up. So clean it up.
Siamo, Lekki Phase 1. You want to buy land, they'll cost 200 million, 300 million. No drainage system. 30 minutes rain, see everywhere. Welcome to Lagos, Lekki Phase 1. Oyibo Tire.
You have it, and Bimba, you were just talking like that's the way to your house. Just turn right, nowhere to go.
We don't need to give all that information out, but it's very close to where I live. And I mean, I'm not really sure what the big deal is or what the outrage is, because he's got video evidence to support his position, and nevertheless he's free to say if he feels that any location on earth has an unpleasant smell. I don't think that it's it's an indictment on anybody to say that especially a coastal town has a foul smell.
Exactly.
Cape Town smells really bad when the tide is high. It smells like fish. It's something that's common. So I know that the commissioner for the environment, Tokumbo Wahab, was saying that, oh, he wishes that this commentary could be more constructive. But I don't think we can police how people express their opinions about their environment. I think it's great to have people who are so passionate that they want to see it be cleaned up. And then the ethnic undertones that then happen around the discussions as well are horrible. You can't say because Lagos smells, go to another part of the country that doesn't smell. No. Everybody is invested in this project called Lagos, and I think it's okay for us to point out things that can be fixed quite easily.
Definitely, 100%.
Quickly, Lagos stinks. My brother Tokumbo Wahab, fix it. When you fix it, we'll come, we'll celebrate you. We are partners in progress. We are the only ones that can tell you when the mouth is smelling. Lagos stinks.
Yeah, so fix it, fix up, look sharp. Thank you so much. That's all I have for you on What's Trending today.